This is Chris with Dales. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris with Dales. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It'll all be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Friday Night SmackDown June 24th, 2022 reviews. So here we go, discussing about Friday Night SmackDown tonight. So we kick off the show with Drew McIntyre. So yeah, Drew McIntyre comes out to the ring, and he was cutting a promo talking about how Roman Reigns been ducking and dodging him, and how he's been wanting to earn his shot for the Universal Championship and all that stuff. When he started from the bottom and everything on SmackDown, and Roman just keeps on ducking and dodging him. So he said at Money in the Bank, he'll win the Money in the Bank contract and he'll cash it in on Roman or Brock at SummerSlam. So yeah, that's what Drew was saying. And then all of a sudden, Sheamus came out with Rich Holland and Butch. And not even gonna lie, Butch, I'm starting to actually, I'm growing on to his character. He's pretty damn good. I'll say what I got to say about that. Sheamus comes out, like I said, and Sheamus starts talking about, Drew, you ain't gonna win the Money in the Bank. I'm gonna win it because I was the one that cashed in on Roman Reigns before, and I'll do it again. So yeah, that's what Sheamus was saying. And then Paul Heyman came out with Adam Pearce, and Butch. He was trying to get out of the ring to go attack Paul Heyman, and then Rich Holland had to hold him back and all that. And it was pretty funny. Like I said, Butch's character is growing on me. Pete Dunne's doing pretty damn good with Butch. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, that's what's happening there. And then Paul Heyman was talking about y'all would have an opportunity to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar after their last man standing match at SummerSlam, because both of them, of course, will be beaten and battered by the end of that match, and y'all damn sure will have an opportunity for that. And then Adam Pearce starts talking. He says, look, I know that I put y'all both in the Money in the Bank ladder match, but after Paul Heyman's influence or whatever, I talked to WWE management, and both y'all are now taken out of the Money in the Bank ladder match. So yeah, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus got taken out, and then he said, but you can't earn that shot again. Y'all gonna have to take on the Usos later on tonight in the main event to qualify into that Money in the Bank ladder match. And then the Usos walked down and had to stare down with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, later on tonight on SmackDown, we will see Sheamus teaming up with Drew McIntyre to take on the Usos. If Sheamus and Drew McIntyre wins, they qualify in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening later on tonight in the main event. But yeah, it was a pretty good segment. Don't get what was the point by putting McIntyre and Sheamus into the Money in the Bank and then taking them right back out. But other than that, I bet the main event will be good for damn sure. So yeah, we will see. But later on tonight, there'll be multiple other stuff. The Viking Raiders is supposed to be returning tonight. And not only that, up next, it will be the first match of the night. It will be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Up next on Friday Night SmackDown. I'll talk about my opinion when that comes. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was the first match of the night. It was Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura one-on-one in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. So before the match started, Sami Zayn was having an interview backstage before he went out for the match, and they was asking, Caleb Braxton was asking, well, what are you going to do if you do win Money in the Bank and all that? You win tonight, qualify, go to Money in the Bank winner. Are you going to cash in on Roman Reigns? And Sammy was like, no, I would never cash in on Roman Reigns because I am going to protect him. He is the tribal chief, the leader of the bloodline, so no, I would not cash in on him if I win it. So yeah, that's what Sami Zayn was saying. And then we get to the match. It was a pretty good match. I'm not even going to lie. I think this is their best match against each other, even though we've seen it too damn many times, way too much. We already seen this match. But I would say this is probably their best match against, other than the one on NXT. Now that was a good match, but on the main roster at least, I'll say this is their best match yet on the main roster. for like the last few months. Every time they keep on going against each other. But like I said, it was a good match. At one point, we see Sami Zayn hitting the exploder suplex on the Shinsuke onto the barricade. And Shinsuke barely getting back in at the count of 9. At one point, Sami Zayn did roll him up and put his feet on the ropes. Got a 2 count, but the referee caught him with his feet on the ropes, and Sami was complaining. And while he was complaining to the referee, that's when Shinsuke jumped off the second turnbuckle with a knee to the back of the head. On the Sami pins him. 1, 2, Sami barely kicking out at 2. And then that's when Sami rolled out of the ring. And Shinsuke got out of the ring on the other side. Comes up with the Kinshasa onto Sami outside the ring. He picks him up, throws him back into the ring because I guess he didn't want to count out victory. But he wanted to finish him off. Shinsuke gets back in the ring as well, and he goes to the corner to pretty much set up for the Kinshasa. But as soon as he got into the corner, he gets hit with a Helluva Kick from out of nowhere, and then Sami pins him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Sami Zayn defeated Shinsuke Nakamura tonight and has qualified into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match. I'll give that match 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. I would say the best match yet on the main roster. But like I said, their match in NXT was pretty damn good. But yeah, this match, it was pretty good as well. But yeah, go check it out if you have yet. But up next, we're going to be seeing Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, The New Day, on SmackDown up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, we see the New Day come out, and then we see Jinder Mahal and Shanky come out, and it was going to be a rematch from last week's SmackDown. And then the New Day was like, look, we don't want to face you guys again. We're getting tired of rematches after rematches, which everybody gets tired of the rematches. And they said they don't like to be in rematches, and they don't never try to be in rematches or anything, even though they was like literally in multiple rematches in their last feud. Like literally. But that's what the New Day was saying, and then they was talking about how they want to see Shanky dance and all that, and then we see Xavier Woods playing the trombone, and Shanky's dancing. Jinder Mahal gets mad, tells Shanky stop dancing, and Shanky pushes him, and Jinder Mahal was like, screw this, I'm out, and then he gets out the ring and starts walking backstage, and then, Shanky and the New Day's dancing and all that, and then all of a sudden, we hear like a thing, like a Viking call, pretty much. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah. And then we see images of the Viking Raiders pop up, and then all of a sudden we see them come out from out of nowhere from behind them and starts attacking Shanky and the New Day, beating them down and all that. Looks like the Viking Raiders are now heels. So yeah, it was great to see Eric and Ivar back on SmackDown, and it looks like they are now heels, which will be a lot more better. The babyface run was a flop. But hopefully they would do a lot more better this go around, since returning back from NXT. So yeah, hopefully they would be doing great. But yeah, like I said, they was beating up the New Day. At one point they hit a double power bomb onto Kofi Kingston, and then they put Xavier Woods on the top turnbuckle with Ivar, and Ivar jumped off the top turnbuckle with the World's Strongest Slam on the Xavier Woods, laying him out. So yeah, the Viking Raiders returned and laid out the New Day and Shanky tonight. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then backstage we see Sonya Deville walk up to Adam Pearce, talking about how she wants an opportunity and all that, because she's been on SmackDown for weeks, even though this is the first time she appeared on SmackDown. But yeah, that's what she was saying, and she's saying, like, look, Lacey Evans hasn't been here. Her first match back, she gets a qualifying match and goes into the Money in the Bank ladder match. Raquel doesn't do nothing, and she gets in there as well. And then she was talking so much crap to Adam Pearce and talking about how don't get all frustrated at me because your in-ring competition was a complete flop. So yeah, that's what she was saying, and Adam Pearce looks at her and goes like, you know what, screw this. Up next, we will see you take on Raquel Rodriguez and Lacey Evans in a handicap match up next. So yeah, that match will be happening up next on SmackDown. So yeah, see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Raquel Rodriguez and Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville 1-on-1 in a handicap match. But Sonya Deville brought some company with her. She brought Xia Li and Shayna Baszler with her in the ringside. And of course, they kept on trying to interfere multiple times in this match, and Raquel was beaten. Well, Sonya Deville was doing pretty good for herself in this handicap match, actually. But at the ending, we see Lacey Evans get tagged in. Raquel throws Sonya Deville to Lacey Evans, and that's when Lacey hits the women's rights onto Sonya Deville and then pins her for the 3 count. So you have Raquel Rodriguez and Lacey Evans defeated Sonya Deville tonight in the handicap match. But then after that match ended, we see Xia Li and Shayna Baszler attack Raquel and Lacey from behind, beating them down and stuff. And then at one point we see Sonya Deville jump on Raquel's back and all that, trying to choke her out. And that's when Raquel scoop slams Xia Li, throws Sonya over her, and then we see Lacey Evans taking care of Shayna in the corner as well. So yeah, Raquel and Lacey Evans was standing tall. So yeah, that's what happened there. But for that match, I'll just give it 1 star. That's why I'll give it. And yeah, that's what happened there. But then backstage, we see the Street Profits on SmackDown. They're walking around. They see Angel and Humberto pretty much walking around with a girl backstage. And then they see Drew go like working out and stuff. And then they see Madcap Moss, and they said, "Hey Madcap, let me tell you a joke." And then Angelo started telling Madcap a joke, and Madcap pretty much had PTSD from it. So yeah, he was just staring off in space after that. So yeah, Madcap got some PTSD with Happy Corbin. But yeah, that's what happened there. But yep, up next on SmackDown, we're going to be seeing Natalya in them, because Natalya came out dressed out as Ronda Rousey and coming out to her theme song and all that. But Ronda Rousey is on SmackDown, so yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, we see Natalya come out dressed up as Ronda Rousey. She got everything Ronda Rousey's on. She came out with the theme song and came out with the baby stroller, actually. So yeah, and then she was talking pretty much in a way acting like Ronda Rousey, but not. Saying, yeah, I tapped out and all that. And you know what? I was about to tap out last week, but I didn't. But I will be at Money in the Bank. And you know what? And then she was saying so much about her and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, Natalya was like, "Hey, Ronda, you might as well give me the women's championship. Go retire and go watch over your kids." So yeah, that's what happened there. And then Ronda Rousey comes walking out and starts laying in on Natalya. I'm not even gonna lie, with the promo and stuff, she was laying it in on her, talking about like, wow, your rack ain't actually out this time and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what she was saying. She said, well, for once, you're actually paying attention to the SmackDown Women's title instead of going out and getting beauty products and all that, being like a plastic Barbie doll, stuff like that. Ronda Rousey was pretty much laying into her. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even think she said plastic Barbie doll part, but she said everything else. But yeah, that's what she said. And then all of a sudden she gets in the ring. She says, "Nice jacket," and this starts ripping off the jacket off of Natalya. And that's when Natalya grabbed the baby stroller after that and started smacking her upside the head with it. And then she quickly got out of the ring. So yeah, that's what happened there when Natalya impersonating Ronda Rousey tonight. So yep, that's what happened there. But then after that, we see Drew McIntyre and Sheamus get an interview backstage, and they asked McIntyre and Sheamus if they could coexist tonight, and obviously they're arguing and all that, talking about how they could do it by themselves and all that. And yeah, that's all that's happening. But yeah, later on tonight they'll be taking on the Usos. But up next, we're going to be seeing Gunther in action up next, because we see Ludwig Kaiser come out and introduce him. So yeah, that match will be happening up next with Gunther. So yeah, see you guys later. Until the next thing happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match, and it was for the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, it was the Intercontinental Champion Gunther with Ludwig Kaiser at ringside versus Ricochet one-on-one for the IC title. This is Ricochet's rematch, and Ricochet right off the bat was going at it with Gunther. You know, he's trying to lay in some shots and everything. Gunther, of course, beating the hell out of him, and Ricochet was trying to come back a few times in this match. But at the ending, we seen Gunther just laying in some chops on the Ricochet in the corner. Hits a massive German suplex onto him at one point, and then hits that running torpedo drop kick onto Ricochet that freaking launched his ass into the turnbuckles, which was pretty wild. And then he picks up Ricochet and then hits that powerbomb onto him and then pins him for the 3 count. So yeah, Gunther defeated Ricochet tonight on Friday Night SmackDown and has retained the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, that's what happened there. For that match, I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. Actually, I'll give it 2 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good, little short match. So yeah, that's why I'll give that match. I don't even think it was advertised, to tell you the truth, because I don't remember hearing about the rematch happening at all. Maybe they did announce it, I just didn't pay attention. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But then backstage, we see Paul Heyman about to get interviewed, but then Sami Zayn pops up and says, "Paul, don't even listen to her. She was trying to set me up earlier. You know I would never cash in the Money in the Bank contract on Roman Reigns if I win it. Well, I mean, when I win it." And you know, Paul Heyman looks at him, puts his arm around his shoulders like, okay. And then Sami Zayn was like, "But I will cash in on Brock Lesnar." And then Paul Heyman just takes his hand off his shoulders and just looked at him, just stared at him face to face. And then Sami Zayn was like, "I better go." So yeah, Sami Zayn walked off quickly. But yeah, that's what happened there. But next we're going to be seeing Tamina versus Shotzi up next on SmackDown. I guess Tamina got moved to SmackDown, we just didn't know. So yeah, that match will be happening up next, and it will be a women's qualifying match. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until the next episode, Friday Night SmackDown. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was Shotzi versus Tamina one-on-one. And apparently why Tamina's in this match, so originally it was supposed to be Shotzi versus Aaliyah in the qualifying match. But Aaliyah apparently is injured, and that's why Tamina took over the spot. So yeah. But yeah, it was a one-on-one match between them two in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. And it was okay. I mean, the referee almost botched at one point and all that. So at the ending, at one point we see Shotzi jump off the second turnbuckle, getting hit with the super kick by Tamina. And then Tamina goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. But even though the referee smacked his hand for the 3 count, he caught Shotzi's foot on the ropes and got rope break. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, he called it before the bell even rung. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then Shotzi was working on Tamina, runs her shoulder first into the ring post, and then hits that DDT onto Tamina, pinning her for the 3 count. So yeah, Shotzi defeated Tamina tonight and has qualified into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. That's what happened. I'll give that match 1 star. That's what I'll give it. So yeah. But yeah, that's what happened there. And then after that, we see the Viking Raiders actually pop up and explain what they did, why they did that, the attack on the New Day and stuff earlier tonight. And they was talking about how they've been overlooked and all that, and they will not be overlooked anymore and be pushed aside anymore. So yeah, that's what they said. But yep, that's what happened there. But up next, we're going to be seeing Max Dupree and the male model up next on SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, we see Max Dupree, and they had a spotlight in the ring. He says there's maximum male models will not go out there to that spotlight because it's not the best thing that Adam Pearce could set up. And not only that, he did not have a separate better locker room for his maximum male models and all that. So he was laying in onto Adam Pearce and all that, and then they said, how about next week? So yeah, looks like next week it'll probably happen. So yeah, but yeah, after that we see Pat McAfee. Now he stands on the announce table, grabs a mic, and he starts talking about Happy Corbin, talking about what Happy Corbin did to him last week and all that, talking crap, and Pat McAfee saying stuff back as well. So yeah, that's what he was talking about, and then he was saying that they challenges Happy Corbin at SummerSlam. So yeah, he laid in the challenge, and then he starts chanting bum ass Corbin. But not going to lie, the fans was really into Pat McAfee talking. I mean, every time when Pat McAfee gets on the mic, or even on commentary as well, he is so damn good. And knowing that every time when he steps in the ring, he does great as well. So yeah. But yeah, it looks like that match will possibly it will be happening at SummerSlam. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, we'll be seeing the main event. It will be Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Usos up next on Friday Night SmackDown. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was the main event. It was Drew McIntyre and Sheamus with Reg Holland and Butch at ringside versus the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, in a tag team match. Now, if Drew McIntyre and Sheamus wins this match, they qualify back into the Money in the Bank ladder match. So yeah, that's a stipulation for this match. But then before the match even started, we seen Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, come down to the ring. They was on commentary for this match. And then right when the match was about to start, we see McIntyre and Sheamus arguing and all that, talking about who's going to start first and all that stuff. But then Butch gets in the ring at one point. He's ready to start the match. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Like I said, Butch is really growing on me. I'm not even going to lie. But yeah, the match starts and everybody's going at it. It goes on commercial break, and apparently during the commercial break, we see apparently Butch and Rich Holland got ejected from ringside. So yeah, they got kicked out from ringside. But I'll talk about that later on. But yeah, they was going at it and all that. The Usos at one point hit a super kick on the Sheamus, and then they hit a double super kick onto Drew McIntyre. I think it was Jimmy Uso. He climbed at the top turnbuckle, jumps off with the Uso splash onto Drew, pins him 1, 2, Sheamus breaking up the pin at the count of 2, and then while that was happening, we see Butch and Rich Holland running down to the ring. Butch was running down to the ring, wanting to jump into this match, and Rich Holland's chase after Butch and all that, which was pretty funny, and it was distracting the referee. But while the referee was distracted, we see McIntyre outside the ring. He was by the barricade, and Sami Zayn comes out of nowhere, about to hit the hula kick onto McIntyre. But as soon as he was running, Angelo gets out of his seat and lays out Sami Zayn. And then we see the Usos and the Street Profits arguing outside the ring, and that's when McIntyre was already back in the ring and all that, and he comes over and jumps over the top rope with the front flip onto the Street Profits and the Usos, laying them out, except Jey Uso. Jey Uso didn't get laid out. He was the only one that got missed, and he was trying to escape and all that, and he turns around, he gets hit with a bro kick by Sheamus, getting taken out, and then that's when Drew picks up Jimmy, throws him back into the ring, setting up for the Claymore. He runs for the Claymore, but then he gets hit with a super kick by him, and then McIntyre bounces off the ropes and comes back with the Claymore, laying Jimmy out, and then pins him for the 3 count. So yeah, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus defeated the Usos tonight on SmackDown. That's what happened, and they have qualified into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So yeah, that's what happened there. It's a pretty good match. I would say easily match of the night for sure. So yeah, in my opinion, this was match of the night. Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura was pretty good as well. And Gunther versus Ricochet was okay. Shotzi versus Tamina, didn't care for that match. I didn't even care for the handicap match earlier anyways as well. Natalya impersonating Ronda Rousey, it was pretty funny what Ronda Rousey was saying to Natalya. Pat McAfee challenging Happy Corbin was pretty damn good because he's entertaining on the mic like always. That segment from way earlier tonight was okay as well. So yeah, tonight's Friday Night SmackDown tonight was okay. I think as a whole show combined, it was better than last week's SmackDown. The only thing that was good out of last week's SmackDown was Roman Reigns versus Riddle. But other than that, SmackDown was shit last week, and this one was way better. The whole show, at least, kind of. But yeah, for the match from the main event, I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good match. So yeah, if you have it, go check it out. But for tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, I'll give it 7 stars. That's why I'll give it. So yeah, 7 out of 10 stars. Oh yeah, and the Viking Raiders returning. That was pretty good. So yeah, that's why I'll give SmackDown tonight. But yeah, it was okay Friday Night SmackDown. Way better than last week's SmackDown. But yeah, this Sunday Forbidden Door will be coming on. So yeah, I'll be having my review on that. Next week, Money in the Bank happens. I think it happens on Saturday next week. So of course I'll be talking about that and having my predictions about it. Maybe Thursday or Friday, one of those 2 days. And I'll be doing my review on Monday Night Raw this Monday. So yeah, Forbidden Door this Sunday. I'll talk about it. But yeah, like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Bagels, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Y'all will be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for this Sunday's Forbidden Door reviews and this Monday's Monday Night Raw reviews. See you guys later. Until then.